So I'll break it down like this. A right-handed player, like just a typical right-handed player that's forehand oriented, this is their backhand side. This is their forehand side, right? For the most part. A typical left-handed player, maybe you can say it's half and half. So like this is the backhand side and this is the forehand side. It's more 50-50 because you're a left-handed player. But yours is more like this is the backhand side and this is the forehand side, and that's the problem. We need to work on this area right here also being your forehand. Hey guys, what's going on? It's Looeelooee here, and welcome to another VOD review. Today we have got a submission from Richard Baldwin. He is from Australia, which means I actually need to make this viewable for my Australian friends. There we go, that should be a little bit better, right? But anyway, Richard, I know you didn't have the submission in this exact format. I haven't changed anything you put. I just cleaned it up a little bit. But we got Richard from Australia, uses the Hurricane Long 5 Blade Provincial and Hurricane 3 Neo on both sides, around 1,000 with the rating central system, which is very similar to the USATT rating system, so this gives me a good idea of your level. You'd like to improve at a steady pace and be more consistent. I would like to achieve a rating of 1400. Awesome. And I know from experience, you'll hit 1400, and the second you hit it, you'll be like, I want to hit 1700. It never stops. Practice routine. Monday, we have 30 minutes of fun play. Tuesday, we have competitive play for 2 hours and 45 minutes. Wednesday is another 2-hour practice session with a coach. Thursday is the day off, and Friday is 30 minutes of semi-competitive play with brother or dad. This is a pretty good level of play. You should be able to improve pretty steadily with this level of practice as long as you're practicing the right things. I started just under a year ago, started going to competitions in Sydney, and going to TT camp in late January this year. Awesome. And then here is the link. And our protagonist is the player in the yellow shoes on the close side of the table. I've watched about a minute of this so far, but I haven't seen anything beyond that, so I am basically going into it blind. And without further ado, let's go ahead and get started. Alright, so let's go ahead and get started. Alright, so this is something that we are going to fix. When you're serving either like a forehand hook serve, forehand pendulum, even forehand reverse pendulum, you should be right here. This is where you should be standing. Your feet should actually be like right here. I'll have a clip on the screen right now to demonstrate kind of where you should be. And the reason behind it is if you serve from right here, you have a lot less reach on your backhand than you do on your forehand. So you can see right there the issue is you serve and kind of come into your default position, and this whole part of the table is completely wide open, and it makes it really difficult to play. However, if you're standing in this part of the table and the ball comes wide to your forehand, you don't have the same issue because you have reach, and it's a lot easier to react to the forehand than it is to the backhand. If you do occasionally serve your forehand serve from this side, then the second that you finish your serve, you basically immediately need to move back to your regular ready position. But on that serve, you were so far over it, it basically just left a massive hole on your backhand. Yeah, I don't get it. You know how to serve from the right spot, so why are you serving right here as well? And if you are going to serve from right there, why aren't you coming back? I'll say, your feeling for the ball looks really, really good. You have really, really good touch. Alright. So, this is something a lot of... I'd say you're like an advanced beginner. Like, you are definitely not new to the sport. I can tell you've been practicing for a little bit. Everyone, even like at like 1,500 to 1,800 people still do this. You're not pushing with any purpose. Like, so he serves, and there's nothing wrong with a good long push as long as it's what you're trying to do. But you didn't really do anything to that ball other than dink it over the table right to his forehand. So you're basically putting the whole point in his hands. If you had cut the ball heavy, like pushed it and been like, here's my best push, my spinniest push, now show me what you got, and made him work to loop the ball, if he lands the loop, it's going to be lower quality because he's not going to be able to kill it. He has to spin it up, and it gives you a chance to play, and they're going to make a lot more unforced errors. But it's a bad sign if you're pushing heavy and your opponent's missing out. They should be missing in the net because you have so much backspin. And just as a side note, because you're a left-handed player, you should actually have your camera probably on this side, because when you're normally going to be on this side of the table, so the camera for a lot of the portion of the video is blocking what I can see. So it'll be a little bit better once you switch ends, but it makes it kind of tough. Yeah, just late. And stuff like that, like if you were 1500 and making that mistake, I'd be getting mad at you. But because you're 1000, you're still learning. I'm not gonna nitpick that sort of stuff because it's just gonna get better over time. It's not bad. That's really good. Yeah, these types of mistakes you're making, I'm not mad at all. You're going for the correct shot, and these are the types of mistakes that you're just gonna fix with more training, like more multi-ball, more practice. Where, like for example, you miss a backhand loop and you can just spend 30 minutes refining your backhand, but the actual strategy behind that shot isn't bad at all. I do wish that your serve was a little bit spinnier. So I will, it's going to go in your notes. I'm going to give you a couple drills that will seem really simple, but they're going to help you a lot. Because the way you're playing isn't bad. You just need to practice the right things. Alright, this is something I tell everybody. So I know, of course, you know the answer now, so it's hindsight 2020. But you play into the corner, you catch him by surprise, even though it's not perfectly in the corner. Where's a right-handed player gonna put this ball when it's coming diagonally to them 90% of the time? It's gonna come back cross court, right? So that means the second that you consciously choose to play your backhand or your forehand to this area of the table against a right-handed player, you need to move a little bit and get ready for your forehand, and vice versa. If you played this way, caught them by surprise, 90% of the time it's going to come back deep to your backhand. So just make sure you're conscious of where you're playing, not just hitting the ball on the table to win the point outright or just to get it on the table. Make sure it's, okay, I'm playing to his backhand. That means he's probably going to go to my forehand. So I'm going to play this shot and kind of mentally be ready for the follow-up to the forehand, because it's the only shot that most people can play when they're caught by surprise until you get to really, really, really high level. Way too much motion on that backhand serve. If you haven't seen it, you should watch my video on the backhand pendulum serve. Watch the whole video, because as a left-handed player, that is one of the absolute best serves that you can have. And especially against lower level players, you're gonna win so many points outright from the serve. And just so you know, I'm sure that you probably notice it in hindsight, but his serve is not strictly backspin, so it's hittable. You're actually rushing into the shot. You can let it bounce. Let the ball bounce just like half a second more. Honestly, the next time you play him, I would even deliberately not return the serve. Just let it bounce so you can see how long it's coming and how little underspin there is on that ball. And so in order to hit it, you don't need to do much. Like, you don't need to drop the paddle. You don't need to do anything crazy. You can basically just meet the ball to the paddle and gently roll it forwards with not much upwards motion. But the same thing there, like, I'm not going to get mad at you for pushing, because I mean, if it's a good push, then it works, but that's not a push. That's a dink the ball to put it on the table and then hope he misses. So you're again putting the point in his hands. If you're going to push, then push. Like, Make it heavy, make it deep, make him miss in the net. Challenge his forehand. But that's not bad. You're going for the right shot again. That just is something that you're gonna have to practice more. But again, I'm not mad with that miss. Oh god, you're so lucky. Not bad. That's actually okay. So the way you played the rally after the serve was fantastic. For a 1000 level player, that was really good. The way you played the rally. But if he was a decent player and he pushes here instead of pushing to the middle of the table, you lose the point immediately. You get lucky, and I think you're almost conditioned into you can serve here and expect the ball here and be fine. But you have to either stop serving from here, or your ready position to cover the backhand corner needs to be 100 times faster than what it is right now. But like the way you're playing the point, it actually tells me that you're going to improve really quickly, because if you were going for like kill the ball, put the point away really quickly, I'd be a little bit concerned. But the fact that you're taking your time, you're spinning the ball up, you're trying to place it deep is excellent, and really, I don't want you to ever change that. But here we go. This is a much better camera angle, so I'll probably be able to give a little bit more insight now. Yeah, not bad. There's like timing issues and like you're reaching for the ball a little bit, but the actual way you're playing the points isn't bad. I'm going to tell you what I told the last player I did a VOD review on though. If your backhand lands here, you're giving him the easiest forehand in the world to counter loop cross court. If your backhand lands here, or here, it's going to be a much more difficult shot, and it's going to be a more predictable return. So make sure when you're practicing, let's say you spend 30 minutes if you're training, practicing your backhand loop, consciously focus on trying to keep the ball in the last inch of the table and right into the corner. You're going to miss, you're going to make mistakes, but you have to make the mistakes missing and trying to go long in order to improve. And you might be able to land your loop here consistently and say, great, I landed my loop, but it's only going to get you so far because good players are going to start to counter loop that ball. Like I said, I'm not too worried about it right now because you're still learning, but just something to keep in mind. Not bad. You're going for the right shots, so I'm not worried about that at all. Yeah, same. Your shot selection is really good. So I don't want you to think of these misses as playing the wrong shot, because you're actually playing the correct shot most of the time. Yeah, you need an underspin serve. I think you think you have an underspin serve, but you don't have a good underspin serve right now. And like I said, I'm going to put some notes in so that you can kind of benchmark yourself, but every rally has been topspin, 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 topspin. And anyone can hit the ball topspin, 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 topspin. The way to start getting really good is to have a really strong underspin game. Really, the points that you've lost in the rallies are just going to come with more practice. I'm not that worried about them. Yeah, like you think that's underspin? It's got a little bit, but it's not heavy enough. Yeah, same. It's not heavy enough. Right idea. The shot you're going for is correct. Same thing. You're not conscious of your placement. So I'll let you watch it again. Look where your backhand would have landed. Right in the middle instead of deep to the corner. Not bad. Yeah, your feeling is so good. Not bad. Same thing though. So like, that's the correct shot to play. Like I would probably push that ball sometimes, but the difference is if I push that ball, I'm pushing the hell out of it. Like I am spinning that ball as hard as I can, basically trying to make it hell on earth for this guy to want to loop it. You're pushing just to put the ball on the table, and you actually get punished for it there by missing in the net. If you're gonna push, you have to push. Yeah, same thing. Then again here, if you're in your opponent's shoes, what are you doing right here? What weakness do you see if you were your opponent that you could take advantage of from your position right here. That is the issue with where you're serving right now. And it would be all right. Like, I'm sure you've seen some professional players serve from here, but the difference is they are so fast to get back into their ready position, and they don't do it as often. It's maybe once per game at most, but you're not getting punished for it because you're not at the high level yet, but I don't want you to develop that habit. And even here, like, same on the ready position. Like, that should be a forehand. Great idea. Same. You need a little bit more spin, but the shot you're going for is correct, so I'm not worried about it. I don't care about the results, I care about improvement. And so I'm not going to give you advice on how you could have or should have fixed a specific shot to win a specific point, because it's 1 point and I'd rather just help you improve in the long run. Yeah, I'll put it in your notes as well, but basically, even on your serve return, your ready position is a little too far to the forehand side. And as a left-handed player, your ready position should be more central compared to what a right-handed player would have. But you're over-exaggerating it, and because of that, it's like... So I'll break it down like this. A right-handed player, like just a typical right-handed player that's forehand-oriented, this is their backhand side, this is their forehand side, right? For the most part. A typical left-handed player, maybe you can say it's half and half. So like this is the backhand side and this is the forehand side. It's more 50-50 because you're a left-handed player. But yours is more like this is the backhand side and this is the forehand side, and that's the problem. We need to work on this area right here also being your forehand. Nice. Okay. Nice. Really good point. But it's like... I'm gonna go frame by frame. Good. Really good loop. He blocks it. And that ball is so far to your forehand. And you decide that you should play your backhand instead. And you don't get punished for it because of the level you're at, but the second that you do this, just like on your serve, you leave this so open that you can't afford to do that. And again, you're playing someone that's not quite good enough to punish you for it, but you gotta work on that. Not bad. Same there. Why are you... Yeah. When you... Okay, so... Backhands aside, like, these should all be forehands, but the last shot you played, you tried to put the point away because he was blocking so easily. He wasn't blocking easy because you didn't have enough power. He was blocking easy because you didn't have enough spin or placement. So you could have played the exact same velocity that you were playing and just landed your shots deeper on the table with more spin, and you would have won the point. And I know it's not as easy as, oh, let me just spin more. You have to practice it. But when you're practicing, I don't want you to focus on velocity. I want you to focus on last inch of the table and as much spin as possible, because that's going to help you a lot. And I know that you can learn to spin easily because your feeling is really good. Yeah, we need a backspin serve. There's too many rallies. Too many rallies indicates that your serve and your serve return isn't good enough. Yeah, there's so many, like, if you watch a high level player, or even two like semi-professional players go against each other, you might watch like the highlight reels on YouTube and be like, whoa, they're having these amazing rallies, but 80% of the points are won by the by the fifth ball. Like, there's no rallies. It's just serve, return, maybe fourth ball, and that's it. You all are having so many rallies just because the serve and the serve return are not really doing anything. You're actually... I actually think you can beat this guy. I know he's, I know the score doesn't show it, but I really think you're better. Nice. Nice. If you miss like that, if you bring me a video next time and all of your misses are like that, I'd be happy. It's a very late timeout. Rule of thumb, by the way. If you're in the last game, the second you go down by 3 points, call a timeout. Even if it's 3-0. Call a timeout. Yeah, same mistake. It's like that serve could be hit. If you are gonna push it, you need to push it. Like you're just dinking it over the net. Yeah. Alrighty. So not bad at all. You are very good at you're very good with your feeling. So I'm hoping that you bring back another VOD in a couple months, because I'm pretty sure if you've actually followed these notes that I'm about to give you, you're going to improve like crazy. Alright, so competitive play, we're not really going to be able to practice. I don't know if it's something that you could do. Maybe on Tuesday when you have the competitive play, if you can come 30 minutes early or stay 30 minutes late to practice this, or maybe 30 minutes before or after your practice session, you can do this. But you need to, I don't care what type of serve it is, you need to develop 2 heavy underspin serves. So develop 2 heavy underspin serves. The first one should be extremely long and extremely heavy. So heavy that 90% of players, the time a player under 1500 puts it straight into the net when they try to loop. The second one should also be extremely heavy, but should bounce at least twice and ideally come back to the net without even going out. Again, 90 for this one, 90% of the time a player under 1200 puts it straight into the net. Next video you submit, I'll be checking this, and if you're not going for this, or it's not heavy enough for them to be dumping it in the net, you're going to be getting the same notes. Okay. When you're serving, when you're doing a forehand serve, make sure you're either on the backhand side of the table or you're coming back to ready position extremely quickly. When you're receiving, I'll just say ready position in general, including in rallies. We need to make your forehand zone larger, which means setting up slightly more to your right as opposed to on the left side of the table than what you're comfortable with, and mentally preparing for the forehand. If you haven't seen my other videos, the way that I give notes is I'll give you 2 or 3 things to work on at once, because otherwise you're not going to improve at anything. So you need to hammer down on these 3 things. Your next video, you actually need to send me 2 videos. Need a video of your serve and of both of these serves. So yeah, next video you submit a match, but I also need to see your serves and make sure that they're extremely heavy and extremely short. This is how you can benchmark it for the short one. This is how you can benchmark it for the long one. And you're going to lose matches because of what I'm about to tell you. but it's going to help you improve 90% of the time. So 90% of your serves need to be extremely heavy underspin, short or long. The other 10%, you can do topspin, you can do long, you can do short, you can do dead. I don't care. And those 90% of the serves that you're doing heavy underspin, it needs to be heavy. Then your last note, when you're pushing, actually push with purpose. No more dinking the ball over the net. But that's it. That's going to do it for this video. Thank you very much for the VOD. You have a lot of feeling, so I think you're going to improve fast. I want to see all 4 of these things fixed by the time you bring your next VOD. I don't care if you lose. I'm not results oriented. I just want to see this improve, and then I'll give you a few more things to work on. That's going to do it for this video. Thank you all for watching. If you enjoyed, leave a like. And if you want one of your own matches reviewed, then go ahead and join my Discord server for instructions on that. But until next time, adios.